Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Join us for the latest in news, views, and conversation with community leaders. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well Dressed Walrus, and Spokane Firefighters Local 29. Now, put your finger on the Pulse of Spokane.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. I hope you're having a great day. Well, we have a really exciting guest lineup today. First, it's Nadine Woodward. You might have seen her on TV at KXOY for years, presenting the local news. She's a leading mayoral candidate, and she's sitting down with us today to talk about issues affecting Spokane and why she's running for office. And then we sit down with Blake Coker. He's a local graphic designer in the Coeur d'Alene area, and he's going to show us some of his work and how you can get a hold of him if you're needing any graphic design work done. And then we end the program with Kate Hudson from Visit Spokane, and we're talking all events happening in the area in the month of July. Stay with us. We'll be right back on The Pulse.
The economy is getting stronger. Banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
O'Brien Logistics would like to invite you to try our local and regional transportation services. With Sprinter vans, lift gates, hot-shot flatbeds, and expedited services, our people are ready to step in and help with your transportation needs. Our services are 24/7, 365, and we are trained and prepared to handle air cargo and Canadian shipments. Give us a call at 208-305-2311 or visit our website at o'brienlogistics.net. That's OBRIEN logistics.net.
Welcome back to The Pulse, and we're sitting down with Nadine Woodward. You're running for Spokane's next mayor.
Yes.
And, okay, Nadine, is it a little weird being in front of the camera and not presenting the news?
On the other side of the camera?
On the other side, yeah.
Or the other side of the mic?
Right.
Definitely.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how do you think your job as a journalist for several decades has prepared you for running for mayor?
Oh, I think there's so many skills that journalists have that really meld very well with the mayor's office. Number one, we're good listeners as journalists, and that's one thing that is the backbone of my campaign, is getting out and listening to the constituency, to the people on the street, to the business owners, to the voters, all the people who love our great city. But number two, asking questions, obviously, is part of the role of a journalist. Analyzing facts, research, all of those things that I think are really important in a leadership position, and especially if you're a mayor who is developing policy. I think those are all really important things to have as a background.
And you know, even more so in a city expanding and growing as much as we are. But that also comes with a lot of issues. So what do you think that currently is our greatest challenge as a city?
Number one, when I get out and talk to people, and I'm talking to people every single day, Collin, it is our homeless crisis. It really is a problem. And people want those who need help and want help to be able to get the help they need.
Right.
I think we have to define what homelessness, though, is. And after talking with businesses and law enforcement and people on the street, nonprofits who are doing the work 24/7, 365, boots on the ground with our homeless population, but also mental health services and drug rehab, people in the shelters that I've talked to, people on the street, we've come to find out that we're not going to solve this problem, but we have to do a better job of managing it. And the majority of those people that we see struggling on our streets visibly have a mental illness or a drug addiction. And that really is 80% of the population that we're seeing. So there's a small criminal element to that population. And so I think public safety is a huge issue. That kind of dovetails into the homeless crisis. And we need to get that criminal element off the street. These are the people who are dealing the drugs, aggressively panhandling, property damage against our businesses downtown. I'm a business owner downtown. We've seen the issue, crime and the homeless challenge exponentially get worse, especially in the last 2 to 3 years. And I would say under my challenger, Ben Stuckert's leadership on the city council. And so more and more people just want to see these people get the help that they need, get the addiction help that they need. But those who are committing the crimes, they want them off the streets and in jail.
Sure. You know, one of the things when we're talking about the homelessness issue currently, you know, we have many people in our own community that say Spokane is a very homeless-friendly city because we have so many services available. So how do we balance that act of enabling and helping people get back on their feet?
Yeah, that's a tricky balance, I guess I would say. And we do have an abundance of services and nonprofits that are doing great work.
Yes.
Some meet the immediate needs of those who are struggling. And I don't want to say that they're the ones that are necessarily enabling, but we do have a lot of programs that make it easy if you're addicted and you want free services and you want to live a lawless lifestyle to come here. I think as a city, we really have to lean on those nonprofits like the UGM, like Adult and Teen Challenge, like Truth Ministries. Like, we have so many programs that do a great job of getting people off the street, into rehab, job skills training, and then productive members of our society. So we need to lean on those that offer a path out of homelessness and long-term solutions to get people off the streets.
And you know, I liked how you said, let's manage this problem, because there's no end to the problem. You can't end homelessness.
You're not going to.
And you know, I talked to a gentleman on the street the other day in front of the studio, and I asked, you know, does he like living this lifestyle? Is it, you know, I would imagine it's awful. And he told me, he's like, you know, I wouldn't want to, I choose to live this way. So there are a handful of people who honestly want to live that lifestyle, and they don't want the help.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to balance too.
It is, and for those kinds of people, I mean, should our hardworking taxpayers have the responsibility of supporting that lifestyle?
Sure.
When some of our own residents are barely making ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck on their own, I think that's an unfair responsibility for our taxpayers. But we do need to make it easier for people who do want treatment, Collin, or mental health services, to get those services. And the city can act as a catalyst toward those, to get those people the help that they need. I don't think the city should be paying for those programs, but we need to connect people to those services, and the city can help in that aspect.
And you know, this is what another question I wanted to ask you, Nadine. I had a woman ask me the other day when she heard that you were going to be on with me. She said, ask her, you know, because she is new to public office, and, you know, this will be kind of your first elected official position if you're elected as mayor. You know, many people might say, oh, she doesn't have the experience that you need to have to hold a public office like this. So what do you say to those voters?
I guess you have to ask, you know, what kind of experience do you require of somebody? I'm a business owner. I don't come from a place of political experience. I've never thought political experience was the best experience. But I do come from a place of being immersed in Spokane issues for 28 years and in a position of public trust. I believe this mayor's race is all about who do you trust most to be Spokane's next mayor, to lead us in the next 8 years, to manage our homeless crisis so we don't become Seattle, and elect the person who you think will come up with the solutions best for Spokane, and not like my challenger, Ben, who would like to import failing policy from Seattle to address it. He will deny that this is an addiction issue. And you have to identify the problem before you can try to manage the problem.
And you know, sometimes pulling in ideas is most convenient. So how do we come up with our own solutions that work for us? How do we tackle that? Well, because that's another challenge in itself.
Absolutely. That's through collaboration. That's by involving the people, the stakeholders who are dealing with this issue all the time. And those are the nonprofits and the businesses and law enforcement. But I will tell you that our campaign will be visiting a city next week that has had success in dealing with their homeless crisis. So I'm not closed off to seeing what other cities are doing. I just don't want to import failing policy. I want to go to the cities that are actually having success, that are getting people off the street and into treatment, and we're going to be somewhere. Now, maybe we'll follow up with another interview, and I'll tell you what we found, and I'll tell you what we can glean from that program to have success here in Spokane.
That's great. Nadine, best of luck to you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for joining me today.
That was great.
And
Thanks,
not presenting the news, but just having a conversation. And we'll be right back on the Pulse of Spokane with a really special local graphic designer that you're going to want to see all of his work. We'll be right back.
Well, this is Looms Day in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Blooms Day.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate, but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Blooms Day wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
I'm Nikki Butler, and I'm a regional manager for STCU. My lunch buddy is Nicole.
I'm Brandy Schloss. I'm a regional manager at STCU. My lunch buddy is Angelina. She's grown up with me. I've grown up with her. To see her graduate will be a lot of fun.
Brandy and I have been lunch buddies since the girls were in 2nd grade. It's great that STCU provides me with the opportunity to be part of Reach for the Future. We are committed to the children. We're committed to our community. I'm Nikki.
I'm Brandy.
And STCU is here for good.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
So joining us now is Blake Coker. Blake, you're from Coeur d'Alene, right?
Yes.
And you're a graphic designer, illustrator here in the area. And I have to say, when I saw your website for the first time, I was amazed. Your level of professional quality is just out of this world. Your creativity is awesome. And we're going to pull up some of your work so that people at home can see it. But tell us a little bit about how you got into graphic design. Because, especially as a kid, we're told, oh, you can grow up and be a firefighter or a dentist or a teacher. But I would never have thought, I'm going to be a graphic designer when I'm older. You know what I mean?
And neither did I. And even up until I think my last couple of years of college, I didn't want to be a graphic designer. My passion has always been in illustration and that sort of visual storytelling. But,
okay.
As I kind of went through college and whatnot, I kind of began to change my focus a little bit because there was a market for graphic design where there wasn't, say, an illustration.
Sure.
So I felt like that was something that I could be more comfortable getting work in.
And is that something that's changed over the last couple of decades?
Maybe. I guess with everything being kind of digital, everything's kind of getting in this giant melting pot. So now it's easier to be able to be like, I'm an illustrator and graphic designer. I can do a little of everything rather than like, I won't do the graphic design. I'm just the illustrator.
Right.
So I try and spread myself out a little bit, but
Okay.
my passion has always been towards illustration.
Yeah.
I love that visual storytelling.
That's great. And while we're talking about some of your work, what was like your first graphic design or illustration project?
Ooh, I guess I again hadn't done much graphic design or had any interest in it until my freshman year of college, in which
Oh wow.
So I started in the graphic design a little bit later, where all my other peers were kind of like, I've been wanting to be a designer since I was like
freshman in high school.
Freshman in high school, I'm
maybe.
like, whatever. It was interesting. It was a little challenging because again, I didn't have the awareness that I think other people who studied it did, because there's a lot you have to take in and consider. You have to like study other places. You go around and see signs downtown. You have to look at everything.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have the eye for that yet. And so I was a little nervous, but I think it was a project where we had to like make up a band and like make album artwork or something like that. And so it was really interesting, but I always felt like I could bring my illustration into design, because I never felt like me as a designer, I was like on the same scale as like professionals. But I felt like if I incorporated my illustration and things like that, that I could boost myself up a bit on the things I was more comfortable
And it
with.
really makes it your own too. If you're using, a lot of illustrations that you've made and, created for certain projects.
Yeah.
I use Canva and other, graphic design platforms, but I would not call myself a graphic designer.
Yeah.
There's a professional difference between, those two things.
There absolutely is, and now there's a lot of apps that are like templates for graphic design, all these different things, and I've kind of played around with them a little bit. But it gives a chance for anyone to kind of, I guess, try their hand at graphic design. So to try and find a way that puts you still at that professional level where, it's like, I could just do that in an app. Why would I pay someone else to do it? It's like, I need to try and figure out what do I offer that, these little individual apps or people who are trying to self-teach,
they can't bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what kind of projects have you worked on? A lot of the things that you do, I was talking to you about designing posters for maybe big musicals or, album covers for bands. What's kind of the main focus of your work?
Absolutely. I would say, as far as the main focus or the thing I try and push out the most is I love doing posters, things like that, because it allows me to mix my two favorite things, which is, again, illustration and typographical design and that kind of hierarchy, and pairing those two. So I always have fun doing posters, things like that. Things I'm kind of less like, woo, yay about is like individual like icon work or like logos, things like that. Because when you're doing a simple logo, you can see all the mistakes compared to a very complicated ink drawing, It's like, granted, I still see those mistakes, but the viewer isn't going to be like, that little detail over there is wrong. But if you have a mishap in a logo, like it's screaming at you.
Yeah.
So it's a little more nerve-wracking, and I guess something that I'm not as gung-ho about doing. But yeah, I love doing anything where I can incorporate that illustration in there.
I love that. And there are, especially as Spokane is expanding and growing so much, and in North Idaho as well, there are so many more events happening.
Yeah.
So, like people need those posters made, and that's something that a lot of people don't want to do themselves. They don't want to tackle the poster design. They're like, I have no idea how to do that. I'll throw something up with a piece of paper and some Sharpie markers.
Absolutely, yeah. And
so it's great to offer that.
I think that's also why it's important to be diverse in your work, because I don't want someone to look at my work and be like, oh, he only does this, so I'm going to try and hire someone else. I want them to look at my work and be like, okay, he can do this, but he can also do that.
Yeah.
So let's get him to do our poster or to do whatever. So diversity is something that I've always tried to, I guess, focus on.
That's great. And you brought some of your books with you.
I did, yeah.
Let's pull these out, because I'm very curious.
Sure. So here I have just a children's book that I just finished illustrating, written by Kristen Cooper Herbie. It is called Stewie Baby Visits the Fantastic Fernand Falcons. She's a local author here, and this is the 5th book in a series. I started doing them, I think, almost 5 years ago now.
So you've done book illustrations then.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
And that's what I love to do the most, is to be able to go in and read a scene and be like, all right, this is what I have in mind for the scene, and then to try and make a visual illustration for it. I don't know.
Absolutely.
If there's anything that can be shown there, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just. And then here I've got my own kind of made comic book. It is about my little brother who has autism, and it's just kind of
You made that?
Yes. Yep. It was a little personal
Oh my gosh.
passion project of mine. And again, it's about my little brother and how we kind of go through these lessons together and have all these different experiences that help us all learn together as a family.
That's awesome.
And so that was a really, really incredible experience to be able to kind of self-produce a comic book, I guess, something
Yeah.
I've always been really passionate about.
That's really neat. Very cool.
Thank you.
You know, it's exciting for me to see young people and my peers kind of really having an idea and going after it.
Yeah.
You know, we have nothing to lose. We're, you know, at the kind of the start of our careers and really just going for things and trying new things, not really afraid of failure because, like I said, we have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So it's so awesome that you're really working on all variety of different projects.
Thank you. And I think as an artist, especially growing up, people don't let you know that that's something you can do for a living. I mean, growing up, you know, people would joke at me like, you're going to have to eat your paintings for sustenance later on in life. And it's like, well, no, you don't have to be poor as an artist. You can make it work. A lot of it's about, you know, getting your name out there and things like that.
Stereotypes aren't everything.
Exactly. They're just something to kind of hold you back and scare you a little bit.
So Blake, what's your website, or do you have a Facebook page? How can people contact you?
Absolutely. You can look me up at Blake Coker Art on Squarespace. There I have all my digital work, mainly digital work, and then I'm on Instagram. You can see kind of the all-around work that I do, ink drawings, digital, things like that, at Blake Coker Art on Instagram.
I love it. Blake, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Collin.
And when we come back, we're going to have Kate Hudson from Visit Spokane. We're talking all events happening in the Inland Northwest in the month of July. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and the description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.
The economy is getting stronger. Banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
We're back with Kate Hudson from Visit Spokane. And so, Kate, we're talking about events happening in the area in the month of July.
Yes.
So what have we got going on?
Well, we, of course, have the 4th of July.
Yes.
So there are, of course, the usual celebrations in Coeur d'Alene.
Fireworks show?
Yes, fireworks shows. And Riverfront Park as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Riverfront Park is doing a really cool carnival. 2-day event, starts on the 4th, and it goes through July 5th. So it's going to be a fun event. There's all sorts of things going on. They're going to have 4th of July fireworks that, of course, they start at about 10 p.m., but the celebrations on the 4th start at noon in the park. So you can have all sorts of fun with your family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And are there any, events this month at the casino? I know they have their summer concert series.
Oh, yes.
What's going on there this month?
We have all sorts of things going on. They have Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Which will be July 18th and 19th.
Okay.
The first show that they booked sold out.
Really?
Like the first day. So they added a second show.
Wow.
And there are still tickets available to that one if you're interested.
Okay.
Yeah, if Snoop Dogg is your thing, this is your concert.
That's awesome.
They also have Steve Martin and Martin Short.
Okay.
They are couple of crazy and wild guys.
Comedy.
Comedy. And they are hilarious. And they will be doing a show on July 21st out at the amphitheater. So they have a ton of stuff going on.
And it's a great venue.
Yeah. They also, they also have Pat Benatar this month as well. So it should be fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, so
very
we have
exciting.
that. It's also First Friday on July 5th.
Okay.
First Friday of every month.
Yep.
We have that going on. And it is a celebration of all things local arts and music. So participating businesses downtown will offer up free snacks and wine tastings, and you can look at local art and listen to local music, and it's a really neat opportunity for you to get out and see your downtown.
It really is. And some of those things that we miss in our day-to-day lives, we're so busy and have our own schedules, work and kids to soccer practice and college stuff and whatever that might be.
Right.
It's kind of nice to just really treasure the vibrant downtown community that we have. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome, I think, that we have a day each month that really spotlights that.
Yeah. It's wonderful, and Downtown Spokane Partnership works really hard to put that on, and it's a wonderful event. So it's free unless you want to buy art or buy yourself dinner.
Yep.
And the weather, we couldn't ask for better weather. And being the day after the 4th of July, you'll still have the carnival going on in Riverfront Park.
Yep.
All sorts of fun things going on.
That's really exciting.
It's such a vibrant downtown in the summer.
It really is. And what else? What else? There's got to be more going on this
month. We also
month.
have in Spokane Valley Crave Food Festival, which is it's a higher end food festival. It's July 11th through July 13th. There will be seafood bash, fire and smoke, foods from around the world, and then there's a grand tasting on Saturday, July 13th.
And where's this happening at in the valley?
Center Place Regional Event Center, over there by Mirabou Park. So it's a beautiful facility, beautiful grounds, and all of our local winemakers and craft beer makers and chefs, and they're bringing chefs in from all over the world.
That's
that
awesome.
will be cooking, and they're just small bites. So tickets are anywhere from $40 to $530, depending on how crazy you want to go. And it's
a great thing for those foodies.
Yes.
In Spokane.
This is, if you love the high-end food, this is the event for you.
That's awesome.
I know, it's a really cool event, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else?
We have Mozart on a summer's eve. That starts July 16th, and there's also a concert on the 17th.
And Vern Wyndham
Yep.
is kind of leading that,
yes,
I hear.
Exactly. And the concerts are obviously in Manitou Park.
Okay.
In Duncan Gardens, so it's a beautiful setting. $15 gets you a lawn seat. $35 gets you a seat at a table. So you can sit and eat and enjoy the music.
Gorgeous, I'm sure.
I know.
Especially this time of year.
I know, and they're playing Mozart.
Cool. Very fun.
Yeah, so it'll be beautiful. So we have that going on, and really that's about it for July. Otherwise...
we were talking about how this month's list is a little bit shorter.
I know.
But I think some of that is we live in an area where we really can enjoy our summers. We're just the perfect location with so many lakes that people like to enjoy on the weekends. And so I think that's probably some of the reason why.
Yes, I think so. I actually laugh to myself on Fridays. It seems like downtown clears out.
Yeah.
And it feels like a dead zone on the weekends because everybody takes off from the lakes and their cabins and to go swim and enjoy everything that we have to offer. I feel like going through the winter and the snow.
Yeah.
Those summers here are
that much
a
more
nice
enjoyable.
Reward. Yes, we appreciate them that much more.
Yes,
so.
And it goes by fast.
It really does.
This fall will be here before we know it.
I know. So get out and enjoy it while you can. There's some major events going on, and then also, smaller events that you can find on visitspokane.com. Just click on the events tab, and I think when I was putting my list together last night, I clicked on the calendar July 1 through July 31, and there were over 800 events listed.
Wow.
And some of them are duplicates.
Sure.
But if you say that you can't find something to do in Spokane, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Kate, thanks for joining us.
You're
it's
welcome.
Always fun to have you on.
Always love to be here.
And that is all for this week's episode of the Pulse of Spokane. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The Pulse of Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well-Dressed Walrus, and Spokane Firefighters Local 29. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.